Hi, and welcome to this edition of Phoenix News here exclusively on Phoenix TV, and quite a busy update we've got for you this week. As you all know, Casey Timmins left the Manchester Phoenix last weekend following the game against the Hull Stingrays. Tony Hand had been looking to bring in some more offence to the roster, and he'd had a couple of chats with Casey, talked about his offensive production, and hopefully, we were looking for Casey to step it up a little. Casey's game, though, was more as a defensive forward rather than an offensive forward, and sadly the numbers didn't come, and so another couple of chats, and Casey was totally professional about it. He accepted the decision from Tony that he had to make a change on the roster to look to bring in some more goals. Casey was absolutely superb in the way he handled the negotiations and the discussions, and we were very pleased that he was able to pick up a job with the Coventry Blaze rather than have to go back home to North America at real short notice. So Casey left us. We wish him all the best with the Coventry Blaze. No doubt we'll see him very, very shortly when the Blaze next visit Manchester. And of course, next time we go to Skydome, it will be an interesting occasion to play against him rather than have him playing with us. A little bit of news elsewhere, as you're probably aware as well, PC Druin has been released from the Nottingham Panthers after a poor start to the season by his previous standards in the UK. Word is that Panthers management was somewhat disappointed in Druin's point production as well, in much the same way that we were disappointed with the points production from KC. But as Druin was very much an offensive forward, his points return for the Panthers was pretty insignificant in terms of their performances all season as well. So Druin has gone from the Nottingham Panthers. Now, we brought you here a rumour a couple of weeks ago that Dan Tessier could well be moving back to Nottingham should he be released from his current club in Germany, or should indeed an offer come from Nottingham. Well, a lot of people are still reckoning that Dan Tessier will end up back at the Nottingham Panthers, but you're not going to hear that here any longer on Phoenix TV. We've talked to some people as well about this rumour about Dan Tessier, and that we're very plainly putting our feet in the camp of no return for Tessier to the National Ice Centre. Quite who the Panthers will replace PC Druin with remains a mystery, but I'm telling you here right now, it will not be Dan Tessier. I hope I'm right. Now, as obviously with Casey Timmins having left, we had to replace him, and weekend saw the debut for Luke Staffacher. His name is spelled Staufacher, and when you look at that, it should be Staufacher. But speaking with Luke, the moment he got off the plane in Manchester, he confirmed it's Staffacher, and that's how he'll be announced, certainly in the Altrincham Ice Dome for all home games. Quite how other announcers managed to get their mouths around his name, we'll just have to wait and see when we're on the road. But Luke joined us, came from the Fresno Falcons in the East Coast Hockey League. Previously, he played with the Quad City Mallards in the United Hockey League, where he played alongside Sean Stark, and so he was keen to hook up with Starkey again in Phoenix colours. And as you've probably seen already, he's had excellent numbers with the Quad City Mallards last season, 42 goals and a whole rake of penalty minutes. But we needn't get too carried away on those penalty minutes. As Luke told us, it was very simple. The team lost its couple of tough guys. They were getting picked on. Somebody had to step up to the plate, and he just took on that role. He's not come to Manchester to be dropping the gloves every 5 minutes. He's come to Manchester to score goals, and that's what we hope he's going to do in abundance as the weeks and months unfold for the remainder of the season. Now, 2 more additions to the Manchester Phoenix roster. We've signed 2 more netminders, as well as Scott Fankhauser and Aaron Fox already on the books. We've now added contracts to Adam Summerfield, who's been icing with the Phoenix under-18s and getting rave reviews for the under-18s, who of course have had a blistering start to the season, unbeaten going into the weekend against Cardiff and Basingstoke. They had no game that weekend, but on a fantastic run of form, 100% record, and Adam has been absolutely sensational in goal for them, and those comments have come from coaches of other clubs, not from people within the Phoenix organisation. A coach from another club actually rang me a couple of weeks ago and said, "Where did you find this kid Summerfield? He's standing on his head every night. He's absolutely superb." We gave Adam the opportunity to come along to training. He's taken it with both hands, and he's going to be joining us on the Phoenix bench to back up with Scott Fankhauser alongside Aaron Fox, and indeed Ben Schofield, who is the netminder from the Phoenix English National League team. Ben is a big lad as well, 6'5", fills the net quite well. He too has been coming along to Phoenix training sessions, and Tony offered him the opportunity too to take on some of the backup netminder roles. Aaron Fox is still on the books of the club, but he's having to take a full-time job, which might just impair his ability to attend training sessions, and so we needed backup cover, certainly for training and possibly for game nights as well. So we looked at Adam, we looked at Ben, and we thought, well, we'll take one of them. Both of them showed up really well in training, so we thought, well, why not? We'll add them to the roster as well. They'll play for us when they've not got games with their respective under-18s and ENL sides, and when Aaron may or may not be available. So that's 3 new signings for the Manchester Phoenix this week, as in the lead up to the games against Cardiff and Basingstoke. Now, one other player who's also been joining Phoenix at training sessions is another under-18 player, Phil Hamer. And Phil's an interesting story because the last couple of years he's played nothing but roller hockey. He has played ice hockey previously at the old Altrincham rink. That was some years ago, obviously, because it got knocked down about 4 or 5 years ago. Since then, he's been playing predominantly roller hockey, but he's returned to ice hockey this year with the Phoenix under-18 squad, and he's been absolutely sensational. I think he's already scored at least 3 hat-tricks, possibly 4. He's scored a lot of goals, and he too has joined the Phoenix on a couple of training sessions, and he's made a very good impression as well. Whether he's going to get a place on a 2-way contract on the roster, we'll just have to wait and see, but certainly he's made a good impression, and that augurs well for the club going forward when we've got players like Adam and Phil who can come through the under-18 squad in much the way that Aaron Fox did. That augurs well for the club, and it's a great boost for the players at low levels, at under 16 and under 14, to know that there is a path of progression and a ladder all the way up to hopefully senior level for all of them in years to come. Now, Phoenix began their school road shows as well this week. Adam Walker and Rhys McWilliams went out to a local school in Altrincham and introduced ice hockey to a couple of classrooms full of children who apparently went absolutely bananas and loved everything that they saw. The boys took out a laptop computer. It had video footage on it of games, and they did some interaction with the kids with a stick and a puck, and apparently it went down absolutely sensationally. So we can expect to see some more younger members of our audience at Phoenix home games in the future, as every one of them was screaming, when can we go to a game, when can we go to games? The head teacher, it was originally supposed to be a 35-40 minute session. It went on for over an hour, and the head teacher herself was actually blown away as well with the presentation that Adam and Rhys put forward on behalf of the Phoenix. So that's good news as well. The Phoenix out in the community, out in the schools, taking ice hockey out to a whole new audience, and hopefully that will continue to grow over the coming weeks and months too. Now, this weekend, obviously, we were in action against Cardiff and Basingstoke, and we also had eyes and ears on the Challenge Cup game on Sunday night between the Newcastle Vipers and the Sheffield Steelers. Speaking with Rob Wilson, the co-owner and head coach of the Newcastle Vipers, prior to the game, Rob assured us that the Vipers were going there not to do Sheffield any favours. He told me, we only play every game the same way. We go to win. There'll be no favours for Sheffield. We'll be going there to win. If we win, then Sheffield are out and the Phoenix go through. If we lose or draw, then Sheffield go forward, but we will be giving it 100%. And that's all anybody at the Phoenix could ask of the Vipers, because obviously our progress in the Challenge Cup is, or was, out of our hands prior to Sunday's game. And that obviously was on the back of the disappointing 6-5 loss in Sheffield last weekend. Now, that's about it for this week's roundup here on Phoenix TV. So the big news, of course, is Luke Staffaker. 5'8", a goal-scoring machine that's come to us from the United Hockey League and the East Coast Hockey League. Good friend of Sean Stark. Let's hope he had a great weekend in his opening 2 fixtures against Cardiff and Basingstoke, and let's hope that Luke gets the points rolling for that second line as we go deeper and deeper into the season. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.